fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. For the past 2 months, I've been observing what an intelligent, healthy, and well-informed, polished group of speakers that you are. It also appears that there is a vast majority of Americans that are well-informed as well, and yet we have an epidemic of obesity. It's been long-standing, as well as cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, stress, anxiety. We are culprits of this high-fat diet. We are malleable to all of this barrage of health information that we receive daily, from Twitter to blogs to books to the news. And it's ever-changing and conflicting from one day to the next. So there's this disconnect, obviously, from this information to the health results. And while this information changes, I feel like I'm in grade school doing this, it's gone from extremely low-fat and high-carb diet, the American Heart Association recommendations, to the Atkins, the high-fat, high-protein, almost no-carb diet. And we've gone these extremes, and I'm sure we'll continue to. But the general information is the same. It's eat your fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, healthy fats. Try to have a balanced lifestyle of nutritious foods, exercise, stress reduction, and nourishing relationships. It's my attempt at drawing. Now, I came across an article. I don't know if any of you have read this. It just came out. It's in the New York Times. It's called The Enchanted Island of Centenarians. So this is one of those blue zones of the world. Scientists have drew a blue circle around certain parts of the world where people are living well past 100, living very healthy and happily. And when they do get diseases, it's far past the point where we do, decades after. This article is really inspiring, delightful story. I encourage you to read it. I can email it to you. Generally, it starts with this man who is here in the States. He is diagnosed with lung cancer in his mid-60s, and he's given 9 months to live. So he decides that he is going to go back home to his native island of Icaria and plan to die and be buried with his ancestors. Well, an interesting thing happened. He went back there, and after a few days, months go by, he's gained strength, vitality, and about 40 years later, he's still alive today at 97 years old, cancer-free, living healthy, thriving. So we can extrapolate certain things that are going on in Icaria, this island off of Greece, and we can try to incorporate them into our lifestyle here. We can't all move to Icaria, but we can kind of take a look at some of the comparisons that are going on here. In America, this is quite obvious, I'm sure, to most of you, but we are generally stressed. We have rigid schedules, fast-paced, disconnected, distracted, obsessed with the miracle diet, exercise regimen. In this enchanted island of Centenarians, they live a relaxed lifestyle. They're very active throughout their day and their lives. They're passionate about what they do. They're social every day, and they support each other. It's not about material things. It's about having a meal on the table and making sure that everyone is abided for. Here in America, we live, of course, by this 9-to-5 schedule. In Icaria, they do not go by the clock. They go to bed late. They wake up late. They take naps during the day. They rest. Here, naps are not so much encouraged or supported. Maybe places like Google or Facebook where they're a little bit more innovative, but not so much the case. Here we have convenience, diet, processed foods. They're in Icaria. They're living off their land. They're eating beans, legumes, goat's milk, goat's cheese, coffee, wine, olive oil, high-potency herb teas. So there's a difference here, of course, in the diet. And then they are constantly active throughout their day in their personal and professional endeavors. Here we have limited activity. There, they're just naturally exercising. Here, we're pushing out workouts in the gym. They don't even consider that. So we can't, like I said, move to Icaria. You probably can't take just the olive oil or the goat cheese and be all okay here. But what I feel is probably the easiest for us to do is just to live simply and clarify for yourself. Tune inward to what is going on inside you. your mind, and your body. And this goes back to that old adage, beating to your own drum. So really figuring out what is working for you. And then as well, to create communities where they're making music harmoniously, so to speak. There's 3 components that I'd like to highlight to do this. The first is inner body wisdom. This is basically you plus food. Then there is personalized wellness activities. This is you and your activities. And then the last is community of healthy people. So you and your people. The first one, inner body wisdom. So this is going to your core. Starting to do this is quite simple. Start with deep breathing. Something that we're all breathing throughout the day, but not too many of us take a moment and actually breathe deeply and fully. So I invite you to take a deep breath right now. So breathe in fully. I'll hold it for a moment, and then slowly release that. So what that does, it's obvious, it brings some oxygen in. It gives you a moment of reprieve from what you're doing, and it helps you have some mental clarity to what you're doing. So then you can carry on to increased awareness and attention to how you're eating. So before, during, after food intake, try to pay attention to your hunger. Are you eating for physical or emotional reasons? It's quite hard to decipher sometimes, but just start to pay attention. Then look at your food choices. Does it change depending on who you're eating with, depending on where you're eating, whether you're at home or in a restaurant? Are you in your car? Are you at your computer? The speed at which you're eating. How fast are you eating? How slow are you eating? Are you giving yourself time to digest, or are you quickly running after you've just eaten? Are you stressed? Are you relaxed? Are you feeling guilty? Are you feeling pleasure while you're eating? Or sometimes you can be feeling pleasure, and then soon after, you're feeling guilty. So the goal is to feel more pleasure, of course. And this actually is shown in research studies that you can actually digest your food better when you're relaxed and you're feeling good. Other aspects as well are the energy that you feel, or the fatigue after you're eating. Are you feeling satiated? Are you feeling stuffed? Are you still feeling hungry? So all these things you can start to take a look at and start to consider. Then next, you can start experimenting with your food. Uh-oh, I'm at red. So take a look at how differently you feel depending on what you're eating. And then there's the body image aspect of all of this. How kind you're being to yourself, how much compassion, how much forgiveness you're giving to yourself. This really plays into how we eat, how much we eat, and how well we're eating. I'll quickly just go through these as well. There is the next category of personalized wellness activities. Essentially trying to create relaxation for your mind and your body. All sorts of activities that you're all quite aware of. Yoga, meditation, time in nature, art, your fitness regimen. Taking a look at that, the intensity of it. Is it too intense? You need to lessen the intensity. Do you prefer to be on a paddleboard as opposed to a bike in the gym? So taking a look at that. Standing up throughout the day, there's an anti-sitting campaign. So for every moment that we're sitting, we're actually doing some damage to our body, supposedly, increasing our cholesterol levels. So just getting up periodically throughout the day can really help. It's not just about powering out an hour of a workout a day. Then there's the passion in your life, in your work, in your volunteering, and sleep. Paying attention to how much sleep you're getting, because it's probably one of the most important things, actually, to rejuvenate the body and nourish you. And lastly, there's the community, the people that you surround yourself with. We can't choose our family. We can definitely influence them to be healthier and lead by example. But see if people are feeding you, nourishing you, or draining you. And do they share the same interests? Are they doing healthy things? So generally, that's something that's going to be just as important as your diet and your activity. Lastly, my message will be to be body-wise, to live your life naturally, really be in tune more for yourself and not necessarily what's going on around us. And hopefully that will lead you to a healthy and happy life. And maybe you will join this enchanted club of the centenarians in Nigeria. So thank you. I appreciate